No, Winter Major will not have Swiss. Winter Major is a different format. It's a pretty savage format, actually. Do you guys want me to show that? Okay, this is the format for the winter split. So let's go Europe, Regional 1. So there's already going to be 8 teams auto-qualified from points. So it's 4 groups of 4. Round 1, 2 and 3 is actually 6 games. That means it's going to be round robin. It's not going to be a like GSL group where you do winners play winners, losers play losers, etc. So yes, 3 teams qualify. 1 advances to an upper bracket, 2 advance to lower bracket. So Group A, first place. Group B, first place. C. All these 4 first places will advance to upper semis. And finishing second or third, you're going to start in lower round 1. It's savage. It's super savage. Like, 2 teams from all of the second and third place finishing teams are going to make the lower quarters. 2 teams from the first place finishing teams are going to make lower quarters, and the other 2 is going to be an upper bracket final. So you need to get first in your group, or else you need to run the gauntlet. Like, if you get first in your group and you win once, you're in the upper bracket final. Top 3 guaranteed. But if you finish second in your group, you need to win 1, 2, 3, 4 matches in a row to be top 3 guaranteed. Everything is best of 5 except the upper bracket. So lower bracket's all best of 5. Oh wait, quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals are best of 7. Never mind. So lower quarterfinals. Basically, I think everything from... Yeah, it's only lower round 1 and 2 are best of 5, then everything else is best of 7. How is seeding decided? I don't know if they do it based on like direct seeds, as in, you know, if they do it based on direct seeds, then Dignitas are going to be in Misfits group A, because they're both 1 and 8. And then BDS will be in Carmine Corp's group B. Endpoint and EG, and then Vitality Semper would be Group D. But they might do it as like pools, like pool seeding, where you know, the top 4 teams are randomly seeded into the groups, and then the next 4 seeds are randomly seeded. Are you hating on Tokyo Verde? What kind of weird human being you gotta be to hate on Tokyo Verde? I thought they were pretty impressive, to be honest. Like, imagine coming in that mechanical for your first LAN when you've not done any RLCS before, and you're coming from a brand new region who can't play on a US East or an EU server every day. I thought Verdi were pretty impressive, to be honest, and you know, they've just never had a chance to play against the teams that were beating them, so they didn't know what to do. But now they've played against them, so they can learn from that, come back stronger. Jirakin, thanks for the 9-month tier 1. He says, really enjoyed seeing you cast RLCS, especially the final EU best region. Hey, thanks, man. I hope you guys did enjoy the casts this RLCS. I had a ton of fun. I casted SRG G2, Dignitas versus Semper. What else did I cast? SRG NRG, and then of course the grand final. So I had a lot of fun. Crow said when Johnny and Shogun are on the desk, you mean the cast? He doesn't even know what to say. They cover the game so well. Well, that's far too kind of Crow to say. But yeah, we try our best. Most informational caster. Thank you, man. It was really fun having Greg in there. Yeah, he was permanent desk, which is really cool. Because, you know, when you've got permanent desk people, you can build a lot of synergy. Like, the host can build a lot of synergy, which is good. Thoughts on 3 people casting? It was really fun. I like casting with 3 people for the big games because it's kind of like a challenge. We don't do it very often. So it's something new that we, you know, we've got to really focus to bring the best out of each other. You know, try not to always talk in the same order. Try not to, you know, have 2 people dominate the entire thing. Boys were winning on their own. They didn't have a coach. Coaches are in a weird spot for Rocket League recently because Dignitas didn't have a coach, and I think, yeah, you say Faze didn't have a coach. There's a lot of like teams who are doing really well who don't have a coach. They just have like a mentality coach or a psychologist. Now, I think For most of these young players, especially in a LAN setting, having a psychologist is a lot more valuable than having a gameplay coach, because gameplay and understanding Rocket League at high level is something that all the players get, but psychology and like the mental aspect of the game is not something that most pros are good at. So yes, psychology and the mental coaching is definitely, I think, the most valuable thing. Yeah, Renegades also have a psychologist, and they did really well. Didn't tested really well until playoffs where they had a bad day. Yeah, somebody saying Faze didn't have a coach. Yeah, how long have they did have AXB actually? That's true. No, they did. How long did they have him? I heard about that like not long before the LAN. It was not long before the LAN that I heard they were gonna get him. But yeah, I feel like as more players retire, like more really smart pro players retire, they'll start to go into coaching naturally. Oh yeah, actually Dig won't be first seed for event 1. It'll be BDS once it... I just assumed it would be Dig because they're over here. But actually they're going to be the third seed. I think it's BDS endpoint Dig for the seeding. Let's see the rankings. Yeah, there you go. We can actually see the world's region spots populated as well now. Do you guys understand the world's region spots now? Now that you've seen it be populated, like MENA sneaking in there, stealing one of NA's spots. I'm personally not surprised. Do you think you could coach, or would you ever want to? I definitely think I could coach, because I talk to a lot of very smart Rocket League minds on the regular. You know, when you've got the contacts, it's pretty easy to stay on top of what you know. But yeah, I've done this for quite a while. I wouldn't want to though. I prefer casting. It's more fun. I prefer casting and content creation, tournament organizing. They're the 3 things I enjoy the most. There's going to be 8 teams qualifying automatically to Worlds. Then there's going to be the World Championship Wildcard, 16 teams. And that's going to be these teams. 3 NA, 3 EU, 2 OCE, 2 SAM, 1 APAC North, 1 APAC South, 2 MENA, and 2 Sub-Saharan Africa. That's going to be your World Championship wildcard. Now, which NA and EU teams these are going to be will be determined on who auto-qualified. So right now there's 4 EU teams in the auto-qualified spots, which would make the 3 in the wildcard, EU 5, 6, and 7. And there's 3 NA teams in the auto-qualified spots, which would make the 3 in the wildcard, 4, 5, and 6. Do you guys know what I mean? And also, since there's currently 1 MENA team auto-qualified, that would make these MENA teams MENA 2 and MENA 3. Whereas these OCE and SAM teams would be OCE 1 and OCE 2, SAM 1, SAM 2. So if MENA keep on getting top 8s and SAM and OCE don't get top 8s, there will actually be more MENA teams at Worlds than any other minor region. BDS NRG set 2 was highest level of Rocket League ever seen. Probably disagree, because usually in those grand finals there's lots of mistakes. I've not watched back the replays yet, but generally in those really high pressure situations there's a ton of mistakes, so the level will most likely not be as high. Is a wildcard online? I don't think anything's been announced yet, but given the fact that there's like every region, even more regions, there's Sub-Saharan Africa as well, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different regions. I can't imagine that working online. Must admit, NA had me hype coming in, thought they were better. I was wrong. EU's great. My American mentality got the best of me. Those boys proved you wrong. See, that's a good mentality to have, but it's fine. It's only 1 major. There's plenty more majors. And I think NA is going to learn a lot, because they took a lot of L's. So they're going to learn. The only danger is that if the team Faze have the mentality that all of their fans have, who are saying that they would have won, then they're probably going to shoot themselves in the foot, because I really don't think that Faze play the game optimally, personally. And I don't think their playstyle counters EU. I think everybody's saying Faze playstyle counters EU. What are you talking about? Like, they did beat EU teams, but they beat Vitality, who looked trash. They beat Endpoint on Endpoint's like worst day, and they beat BDS on BDS worst day. Like, that's not countering EU playstyle. And they also needed Illusion to pop off and play the best I've ever seen him play. So that was like, I don't think anything down to playstyle. It's just like down to who played better on the day. Like, playstyle comes into it, but obviously whoever can play well mechanically is a much bigger factor. I don't know how anyone's ever saying that Faze have the best play style. Like, I watched that team play. I'm like, what are they doing? They're so passive, man. They're just all driving away from the play. They're given so much free space. It's not how you play, in my opinion. You mean Lan Lucian? I don't know why everybody's calling him Lan Lucian instead of a Lanshin. I felt like a Lanshin made a lot more sense. But yeah, Lan Lucian. I was very impressed by this guy. I tweeted it. I thought he did really well. Yay, Firecrotch, thanks to the 4-month prime. Do you think NRG looking worse in the finals compared to against FaZe was due to them having to play, due to them playing worse, or BDS looking great? I think it was due to BDS playing a much more devastating playstyle than FaZe do. I did watch, you can watch my VOD here, I watched the FaZe versus NRG games, and there's a lot of NRG goals from like FaZe just not really doing anything, just kind of driving away from the play, and then NRG are like, thanks, and they score. BDS literally never did that. Like, every time NRG's trying to make a play, BDS are like, and we're in your face, and we're stopping what you're doing, we're ruining your day. So it's all about the opponent. That's why I think NRG looked worse. Alulan is not, that's not it. That's really not it. But yeah, my honest opinion on FaZe throughout this LAN, I thought that they were going to be, so start to finish, I thought FaZe were going to be one of those teams that's very shaky early on. They were completely not. They were ice cold. They came out as one of the most like mentally strong teams. So did a lot of the other rookies, which that surprised me. Then who did they beat? They beat Vitality first of all, who didn't look like a good team at all this event. Then they beat Renegades. I did not like what I saw from FaZe vs Renegades, I'll be completely honest. I thought that FaZe vs Renegades, with that kind of mechanical difference between teams, it shouldn't be close, but FaZe nearly went to game 5. I think they were outshot in game 4 by Renegades, like 12-6 or something, which baffles me. I'm like, what is going on here? I mean, I know Renegades stepped up and beat Endpoint and Furia, but I was like, how is this happening? Like, how are FaZe letting Renegades do this to them? I was not impressed. And then when FaZe played against BDS, everybody was like, NA Copium. I'll be honest though, I still wasn't impressed. I still thought they were going to lose to Endpoint because they were so passive. And BDS like just stepped on the rake and it hit them in the face. You know? Really, really bad play mechanically and team play wise from BDS, but playstyle, I'd take BDS playstyle over FaZe any day. But quarterfinal, that was the first time I was really impressed by FaZe. I was like, Illusion's here, he's popping off. First Killer, AJ, these guys are all making their plays. They deserve that. That was very, very impressive. And if they play like that, they're gonna be a problem for any team. But yeah, versus NRG, Illusion was a lot quieter. First Killer was way too passive, just driving away from the play. There were just far too many mistakes against NRG. What team do I think will make a roster change? I don't know, man. I don't really think too much about that. I just wait to see what happens. Has your opinion changed on Semper? I mean, my opinion had already changed on Semper coming into this LAN, because what I saw from them in Regional 3 online gave me a lot of hope for them. They were playing, I think, a lot more exciting Rocket League to watch and a lot more aggressively as well. Like, I just hated seeing Semper just not go for the ball in Regionals 1 and 2. Like, they were just getting bullied. But now they're actually stepping up and fighting for themselves, so I had a lot of hope for them. Didn't think they were going to beat Dig, but I don't think anybody did. Like, I thought that was a pretty tough draw for Semper to get Dig, but then, yeah, Jack didn't show up and scrub at a couple of clutch misplays. What should we expect from Khaled? Oh, who knows, man. This is going to be a really interesting one to watch. One thing I do know about the Middle East players though is that they're all like such good friends that I can't see their mental ever being shocked. Like some of the other teams who were struggling at LAN had problems with. So I think that they would be. I think Khaled and I think SRG would be fine. I think they could probably like shoot for a top 8 again. It's all about like, I mean, like I said, this format is pretty brutal. Like the major format's going to be the same as the winter regionals. Now, if you don't top your group, so I don't think many people would predict SRD to top a group because they were, you know, power ranking around, most people power ranking them around 7th or 8th, something like that from this LAN. So let's say they get second in a group, just based on that. They're starting lower round 1. So then you need to beat another group's 3rd seed, and then you need to beat another group's 2nd seed, and then you need to beat another group's 1st seed just to get into, you know, top 4. But yeah, top 8 is lower round 2. That's what they're going to be shooting for, I think. Pretty sure that's top 8. Because you've got 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Yeah. So top 8 is what you want. You just if you're just going for that extra LAN spot for your region, you need to make it into lower round 2. So you need to finish top 3 in your group and then win your lower round 1, or just finish 1st in your group and you've got it already. 1 game difference. Yeah. It could be huge. But I mean, that's just the way it is. It's a really savage format. They should play the final straight up, no bracket reset. I don't see why that would be a thing. My favorite bracket reset format that I don't think has ever been done in a really, really big tournament is best of 7 followed by best of 3. So everything from lower quarterfinals and upper semifinals onwards is all best of 7, including bracket reset, I believe. Does it say anything about bracket reset? It doesn't specifically say it, but I imagine there will be a bracket reset. Now imagine, you know, the team coming out of the lower bracket final wins the first series in the grand final, which is a best of 7, resets the bracket, and now instead of another best of 7, you've got another best of 3. Thoughts? What do you guys think? Best of 3 for the second set. How hype would that be? Why? Because I don't like when, this is just my personal preference, but I don't like when there's like a potential for there to be an entire other series. I'll tell you why. So in a best of 7 bracket reset, you finish the first series, it might be like 4-3 one way, super close, really tense. One team gets to win. Lower bracket team gets to win. Now the bracket's reset, you've got another best of 7. It's kind of like just chill for a couple games. Hype dies down a bit. It's like, oh, well, we're back to the start again. Some people are just like, whatever. Viewers go down. People are tuning out. Then they're like, I'll be back in, 15, 20 minutes when it gets exciting again. So you're probably going to lose a bunch of viewers. Then people come back if it gets exciting, if it's close again. But if it's a best of 3 in the second series, it's always close by nature. You're going to keep all those viewers. You're going to get all that excitement from the end of the first bracket reset series. And now you're just in a best of 3, so it's close from the very beginning till the end. It's never going to be like, oh, one team's winning 3-0, whatever. It's over, It's really a big, momentum kill when you have a best of 7 bracket reset and then the other team just goes 3-0 up and you're like, oh, okay, it's over. The players would feel robbed. I don't see how. They've both had a chance to beat each other in a best of 7. They've both lost to each other once, or they both lost to somebody in a best of 7. You shouldn't have lost. If you don't want to play the best of 3, don't lose. Don't lose the best of 7. Best of 3 first time, best of 7. That wouldn't be fair though, because one team could send another team to the lower bracket by beating them in a best of 7. The other team gets the bracket reset from winning a best of 3. It's not the same. Do it until one team has a 2-game lead in the second series. Yeah, that would be pretty cool as well. Just go until there's a 2-game. Yeah, something like that. Something to just keep it close until the end, None of these and it's 3-0. And it's really hard to imagine a comeback. Little unfair to the upper team. I mean, how? They don't want to do that. Win the best of 7. Just win the best of 7, man. If the upper team loses the first best of 7, then both teams have lost a best of 7 at some point. Yeah, they have that in chess. Tiebreakers go to shorter games because you don't want it to just go on forever. Best of sets is best. Best of sets is an interesting one. I mean, some people love it, some people hate it. Me personally, I don't think it's optimal in the sense that it takes up so much of the final day. Like, there could be more grand final than there are semis. Like, the 2 semis are 2 series, and the grand final could be 3. Like, it's so much longer. What I would want to see with best of sets next time is, oh man, how am I going to explain this one to you guys? This is going to be tough. So, you know how best of sets are a best of 7 set every time that we've done it so far? I'm sure you guys understand at least that much. So now imagine, how do I explain this? So imagine a best of 3 for quarterfinal. So, you know, we're in the quarterfinal. I'm going to make this bigger. Let's go 36. We're in the, why is that not the right size? There we go. So let's say that this is quarterfinal and it's a best of 3 instead of a best of 7. So right now we have best of 7 for quarterfinal. Now, how many games, chat, do you need to win in a best of 7 to win the series? I think you can get this one right. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. Let me move it. 4. 4 is the right answer. Well done. Well done. So in a best of 7, in order to win, right, games to win is 4. Now, in a best of 3, so a best of 3, aka, you know, best of set, how many games do you need to win? What's the minimum amount of games you need to win in a best of 3? How many of you are saying 6? It's still 4. It's still 4, chat. You win a best of 3, that's 2 games. You win another best of 3, that's 2 games. Now, you might have won another game in the other best of 3 to lose 2-1. That would be 5 games. But you don't need 5, you only need 4. Now, here's another question. How many wins to come back from 0-3? So if you lose your first 3 games in a best of 7, how many games do you need to win in a row in order to tie the series? Well, in order to win the series, I mean. 4. Best of 3. How many do you need to win in a row in order to win the series from 0-3? So basically, you've lost the first best of 3, 2-0. Now you're 1-0 down in the second one. How many games do you need to win in a row to win the series? A lot of people saying 4. That's wrong. Answer is actually 2. You only need to win 2 in a row to win the series. After then, you can lose 1 and then win another 2. You still win. You can actually afford to lose 1. You only need to win 2. So my point is, with best of 3, there's more comeback potential, even though the amount of games that you need to win is the same. Do you know what I mean? You can actually have a free loss in there. So it makes comebacks from a 0-3 easier. And in fact, after you've won 2 games, it's a dead even, like tie. Like, you'd have to win 3 games to tie the series. If you're 0-3 in a best of 7, you have to win 3 games to go 3-3. Now it's best of 1 to win. But if you lose 3 games in a best of 3, you only need to win 2 games and then it's tied. Now you're in a best of 3 to win. So there's actually a lot more comeback potential in a best of 3 than there is in a best of 7. Does that make sense, chat? Type 1 in chat if that makes sense. And with that in mind, I would propose, if there's ever, you know, a best of set grand final in the future, if I'm doing a best of set grand final in a future event that I run, I'm not going to make it best of 7. What I'm probably going to do is make it best of 5, and then I'll make the quarterfinals and the semis best of 3, because then there's a little bit of like continuity. You know, you've got the best of 3 in the quarters and the semis, and then grand final best of 5. It's not as much of a jump. You can have up to 9 games in a best of 3, up to 15 in a best of 5. I mean, best of 3, best of 5. Not best of 5, that would be 25. Yeah, I mean best of 3, best of 5, not 5. Because right now, best of 7's up to 7 games, and then the grand final's up to 21 games. It's like way, way more. Whereas best of 3 to best of 5 BO5 would be, it would be like max games would be 15 versus 9, you know, versus 7 for a best of 7. Running tournaments anytime soon? I've got nothing like in the immediate pipeline, but always thinking about it. I said in the past it was idiotic to change best of 3 to best of 5 whenever it's a final. I don't like best of 3, but I'm okay with best of 3, best of 3. I don't mind best of 3, best of 3. It's kind of like the only reason that best of 3 might be weird is like the mental aspect of it, because you lose the first best of 3, you're like, man, we're 1-0 down. But really what you've just done is now you're 2-0 down on a best of 7. It's the same thing, you know? It's the same. You can tie the series with... Actually, it's easier. Like, see if you're in a best of 7 and you're 0-2, that's worse than losing the entire first best of 3 in a BO3. Because in a BO3, if you lose the entire first best of 3, you can actually afford to lose 2 games and still win. As long as you spread those 2 losses over the 2 best of 3s. Whereas if you lose 0-2 in a best of 7, you cannot afford to lose 2 more games. You can only afford to lose 1 more. So this is just more comeback potential than this. Tennis points method. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean with that. What format brings the best out of teams? I'm just thinking of comeback potential. Like, you know, reverse sweeps are super rare in best of 7s because it was so hard to win 4 straight. But in a BO3, there would just naturally be comebacks, because if you go 0-2 down, you know, you can afford to still lose 2 games over the course of the next 6 to win. Whereas in a best of 7, if you're 0-2 down, you can only afford to lose 1 game in the next 5. Yeah, did I write BO5? That's an idiot. It's just wrong. Yeah, you're right. This whole time I've been trying to say best of 3, best of 5, but I keep saying 5-5. How are tiebreakers determined? Yeah, probably just more matches. I mean, usually the tiebreakers are like game win-loss differential, followed by head-to-head. Because in a group setting, head-to-head taking precedent is usually a bad idea. Like one team could, you know, you could have a 3-way tie where, you know, every team's lost to the big dog, but one of the teams lost 2-3 and 3-0'd somebody else. You know, or what if, like, you know, you just have a tie in the middle, and one team's game win-loss differential is way better than the others, but the head-to-head goes the other way. It looks really bad when you've got the head-to-head being ahead. First tiebreaker. But, you know, if they decide that and the teams know about that, that's fair enough. As long as the teams understand what they're walking into, and, well, as long as it's possible for the teams to understand what they're walking into, they're not surprised last minute by, like, random things they didn't know about, then it's all good for me. It's all good in my opinion. Hey, Savage Sunny, thanks for the 26-month prime. I don't think I caught that one. I was too busy, like, messing up BO5s. Thoughts on best of 9? It's too long in my opinion. Too long. Next one's event. You'll just have to wait and see, won't you? But yeah, any other questions about formats, play styles, LAN, life? Now's the time to get it in, because I'm going to look for somebody to raid, and gonna head off because it's pretty late. But yeah, if you guys like this, I'll probably try and do it again at some point. Might look at some other replays. TEI was a best of 9 finals with a 1-game advantage to the team from the upper bracket, so it wasn't a straight best of 9. It was sort of like a, you know, max 8 games, minimum 4. Oof. Best of 9 with a 2-game advantage is really savage, OSM. It's really savage. That's tough. To win 5 out of 8 is rough. You have to win 5 before the other team wins 3. So that's tough. Hey, Vital Logic, thanks for getting us up to I'm Too Uncreative, and also for Common Sense TV for the tier 1, and Spoofward for the 7-month prime. Welcome back. Best of 7 upper team got 1-game advantage. Yeah, best of 7 with 1-game advantage is less savage than best of 9 with 2-game advantage, because winning 4 games before the other team wins 3, like you can afford 2. So you can afford to go 3-2 and then win. But the other one you have to go 4-2 and then win. You know, like if you're in a best of 9 and the other team has a 2-game advantage, you need to win 4 games, and they can only be on 2. So you need to be 4-2 up, and then you need to win. Right? You need to go 5-2. But best of 7 with a 1-game advantage, you only need to go like 4-2. So it's just easier. It's more fair. I don't like aggregate goal scoring in Rocket League. I think the way Rocket League works is way better than aggregate scoring. You know, I also don't like goals against or goal differential to be a tiebreaker in Rocket League. Like they've used game differential amongst tied teams, initial seed as the tiebreakers here. But if goal differential is ever used as a Rocket League tiebreaker, I think it's a mistake personally, because it incentivizes teams to not go for 0-second winning goals, because of the fear of conceding. So yeah, I think it's bad. You never get those big hype 0-second goals.